Good day, Grade 5 learners. Welcome back to our English class. I am Teacher Waven, and today we have an exciting lesson. Get your pens and notebooks ready as we learn about explanatory texts and glossaries. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify the important details of an explanatory text, describe its characteristics, and use a glossary to understand key terms and concepts. Let's start with a short review. Can you think of informational texts you've read before? For example, travel brochures, fact sheets, or trivia. Write one example in your notebook. Great, now here's a question for you. What is the main idea of your chosen text? List 3 key details you remember. Before we continue, write down the most important fact you learned about informational texts. This helps us see what you remember so far. Today, we will focus on explanatory texts. These are texts that explain how or why something happens. For example, how volcanoes erupt, or how to plant a seed. Imagine reading a text about how to plant a seed. What did you learn from it? Why is that information important? How can it help you in real life? Correct! Explanatory texts help us understand how things work, follow instructions, and explain clearly to others. Let's unlock some words you'll encounter. Listen carefully and guess their meanings. 1. Tidings. The postman brought tidings of great joy. 2. Ancestral. We visited our ancestral home. 3. Laid back. The beach had a laid-back atmosphere. 4. Garish. Her room had garish colors. 5. Picturesque. The village was picturesque. 6. Indulgent. His parents were indulgent on his birthday. Did you get them all correct? Great job! Now let's read My Christmas Story by Daphne Ashley C. Listen as I read, then answer these questions. What is unique about Christmas in the Philippines? Describe the ancestral home setting during Christmas. What special foods does the author mention? How has Guagua, Pampanga, changed over the years? What feelings and values does the author associate with Christmas? My Christmas Story by Daphne Ashley C. Of the 21 Christmases I've spent in this ever-changing world, half the number were spent overseas. And I can tell you this, there is absolutely no place in the world that comes close to the Christmas spirit in the Philippines. Sure, in the West, they have a white Christmas, filled with jolly good tidings, family gatherings in front of a roaring fire, and a ton of snow outside. They may have the brightest decor, or the cheeriest carols, but they're nowhere close to what we have here. Christmas is best spent with our loved ones, the people we care most about. It's about giving and sharing what we have, with no expectations in return. Love, joy, and peace. These are what Christmas promises, and there's no better way to enjoy them than at home. Home to our family is our ancestral house in Guagua, Pampanga. We travel 2 hours from Manila every year, whenever we don't go abroad, to have a family reunion. Well, it's no longer a very rural place because progress has taken its toll on this beautiful, peaceful municipality. Nonetheless, it is still a laid-back, small town where everyone knows everyone else. The plaza, located in the center of the municipality, screams progress from every angle. There was only one rural bank there back then, but now there is a hall of big local banks. On the once empty space stand monuments and wishing fountains. The area screams modernity, but the church with its brick exterior neutralizes all things garish and new. The bell, which is 200 years old, sits atop it, unfazed by the recent changes in its environment. Laughing children run and play, their parents letting them freely wander while keeping an eye on them. Vendors sell all types of delicacies and drinks after every simbang gabi. Such is the picturesque scene I encounter whenever I'm home for Christmas. Apart from the festive atmosphere, our ancestral house packs its own familiar surprises. The preparations, the holiday food, as well as the stories and the company make up much of our family memories. At the midnight on Christmas Eve, my grandmother would always serve arroz caldo, along with delicacies such as suman, puto bumbong, and bibingka lined up on the table together with champorado. This is our typical Noche Buena. Simple, yet indulgent. On Christmas morning, my grandmother would whip up her famous chocolate, a drink made of tablea dissolved in hot water and mixed with a wooden whisk called batirol, with pinipig as an added treat. Sinangag and tocino with achara make up the rest of the breakfast menu, sometimes with some chicharron on the side. Home is where the heart will always be, and home to me is a place where everyone dear is around me with food on the table and stories to share. This is my Christmas story. An explanatory text explains how or why something happens, just like how Daphne described her family's Christmas traditions. And to better understand these texts, we use a glossary to define unfamiliar words. It's your turn to write. Choose one topic: how to make a parol, how to prepare sinigang, how to play sipa, how to plant a mango tree, how to recycle plastic bottles. Write an explanatory paragraph with at least 5 steps. Use linking words like firstly, secondly, next, then, lastly. Example: how to plant a mango tree. Firstly, choose a ripe mango seed. Secondly, clean it well. Next, dry it under the sun. Then, plant it in healthy soil. Lastly, water it regularly so it will grow strong. Don't forget to create a glossary with 5 words related to your topic and their meanings. Before we end, discuss with a partner. What is an explanatory text? How do linking words help in writing? Great work today, Grade 5 learners! You now know how to identify and write explanatory texts and use glossaries to understand them better. Keep practicing to become effective communicators. See you next time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more lessons.